It is hard to believe this is week number 9 of the college football season. I don't know where time has flown. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, General Manager, DeMarcoSports.com. This is going to be your Saturday video report. It has been one hell of a college football season. Let's keep the good times going. Listen, here on the video report, I have cashed in with my top play 7 of the past 8 Saturdays. Last Saturday hit 3 out of 4 overall on the video report, including the best bet, which was Army. Now remember, for those of you that are newcomers to the video, the top play here and all the plays on the video report, the free selections, those are what I like to call the best of the worst. In other words, after I narrow down the entire college football card on a Saturday, I've got my best bet, which I'll talk about in just a minute. And then there are the best of the worst. The plays, for one reason or another, I eliminated from consideration for being my best bet over at DeMarcoSports.com, and I use them here on the video report. But over the years, guys, I'm telling you, I hit probably at a 62% clip for the free plays. Because again, after I've narrowed down the card, which you should be doing if you're not going to take my advice, you narrow that card and you find that one single play. I'm a guy who believes in finding one play and hammering it hard. And thus again, 7-1 with the top plays. That top play is coming up in a moment. In terms of my best bet on the card, well, 6-1 with my last 7 over the past 7 Saturdays. And again, I've got another raise the bar 20 dime release. Now, this is the second highest rated play I will ever release. And guys, I am 14-5 with those selections over the past 3 seasons combined, including 7-2 this year. That's college and NFL combined. Last Saturday, was I lucky? You bet your ass I was, and you were too, if you followed me, because we had Missouri. And you know how that game ended, getting the cover against Auburn. And if there was ever a reason you followed and heeded my advice about buying the half point, it cashed in again for you last week with the Tigers. But listen, it is sometimes better to be good than to be lucky. Or actually, it's better to be lucky than to be good, but doesn't really matter. Missouri covered. And listen, I'm doing this video report at 1:30 in the morning Eastern time, so who the hell cares? But today I have a play that I'm calling Raise the Bar 20 dime winner. If not now, when? Blowout of the year. Because I know this team sucks defensively. But this is a situation today where if this team doesn't win by a monstrous margin, if not today, when? And that's why I've named it this play. And once again, just like every other single Raise the Bar 20 dime release I have released, that's kind of repetitive. It's going to be the half price play of the day over at DeMarcoSports.com using coupon code HALF, HALF. Simple, right? Very easy. And I would be, of course, remiss if I didn't mention the other guy who has had one hell of a season. In fact, a couple of great seasons in a row. My good friend, Rick Torino, a guy that I have known for 30-some years. Today, guys, he has the 28th ever 100 dime all-in college and max wager release since he joined the site 2.5 seasons ago. It's his 4th this season. Why is this important? He is 24-5 lifetime with these plays, 7-1 last year, 3-0 this year. And these are all college football releases, 24-5 lifetime, 3-0 this season, 7-1 this last season. And today it goes on the nighttime card. It is his line error lock of the month. I can tell you it's one of the 9 games that kicks off in the 7 o'clock Eastern hour. And just like all the other ones, it is discounted. And you get the coupon code over on the homepage over in DeMarcoSports.com. Going into Friday's action, I don't know what the game's results are at this time. He is the winningest football handicapper, college and pro combined, at the site dating back to the start of last season, making $10 bettors, $14,435. That's wins minus losses minus the VIG, $14,435. So check it out because, again, money in the bank when Rick releases one of these plays. You know it as well as I do. Okay, let's get to the complimentary plays. Guys, if you like the video, hit the little like button. If you have not yet subscribed and you like to be aware of when the videos are made available, subscribe. You can see that little subscribe button down there in the corner. And hey, let's get going. The top play today, ladies and gentlemen, the top play for this Saturday video report using my best middle of the morning DJ voice. We are going to we are going to go with Kansas State. And I've used Kansas State a number of times. I'm going to go with Kansas State and the annual Sunflower Showdown. Say that 3 times quickly. Laying the 9.5 to 10 points. Most places it's 10 points, though, against Kansas. And there's a number of good reasons for taking Kansas State in this game. Mainly, they're the better team. And you think about it, Kansas State is 6-1. And if not for one 5-minute horrendous stretch at Boise, or excuse me, at BYU, this team could be 7-0. Because in a 5-minute stretch, when they played in Provo, 3 turnovers and a punt return led to 28 unanswered points for BYU. 5 minutes, 28 points. That's what separates Kansas State from being 7-0 as opposed to 6-1. But this is an offense that has scored at least 31 points in all 6 wins. Last year, you may recall, Kansas State rallied from 11 points down to win 31-27 in Lawrence. And that was a much better Jayhawks team than we've seen this year. They have dominated the series, winning 15 in a row, covering 11 of those. In fact, they have won 28 of the last 31 games straight up in this series. And that's a series streak that makes sense because Kansas, until a couple of years ago, had been a downtrodden, awful team. And we know that, right? In that stretch, only 4 of them have been decided by 10 points or less. But again, one of those was last year when Kansas had a damn good team. That is not the team we have seen here. I look at Kansas State and, I see a team that is balanced, one that can throw the ball well. In fact, one that can run the ball well, too. A damn good ground game. And I look at Kansas, and I think the problem here is that this team, Jalen Daniels, when he was healthy the past couple of years, was such a dynamic force. But I wonder if the injuries have taken their toll. Remember the back problems that kept him in and out of the lineup? When he was in last year, he was phenomenal. But this year, he just really until last week, when they snapped a 5-game losing streak and won their first Big 12 game of the year by 42-14 over Houston, that was the first game he looked like Jalen Daniels of old. 16 for 21, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 rushes for 58 yards. When he is truly a dual threat quarterback, using his legs, that's when Kansas is the most effective. But he hasn't been that way because you've got to have Daniels being a threat running the ball because you also have 2 outstanding running backs in Devin Neal and Daniel Hishaw. Now, the problem is Daniel Hishaw, who's averaging 6.5 yards per carry and is like the secondary back to Neal, he is questionable to doubtful for this game because of a reoccurring injury. That is definitely going to hurt Kansas. Bottom line, I just like Kansas State in this game, better team, better defense, more diversified attack, and playing at home. So I'm willing to lay the 10 points and make Kansas State your top play here on the video report. Now, I'm going to run these games in the order that I like them, okay? Your next play, I'm going to go with Ohio State. Listen, the Buckeyes have had a week off to lick their wounds after losing in that final minute at Oregon. This is a Buckeyes offense that has scored 31 or more points in every single game this season. Are they a 25.5-point favorite against Nebraska? Absolutely. Do I think they can win by 34 points? Absolutely. They've won 7 straight in this series, 5 of them by 35 points or more. This is a team, Nebraska, that totally collapsed, got their asses kicked in Bloomington last week by Indiana. I mean, you saw that a Nebraska defense that statistically on paper was very good was proven to be a fraud by Curtis Work and the Hoosiers offense. They just shredded them. Most lopsided loss for Nebraska last week, 56-7, right? Most lopsided loss since Ohio State ironically beat them 62-3 in 2016. The Nebraska offense only 21 points in the last 2 games. I call them step-up games. They had one against Colorado. They won in Lincoln 28-10. They failed at home against Illinois, lost that game 31-24. And then they got crushed at Indiana. Well, this is another step-up game, and I think they're going to get flattened. I came this close to making Ohio State the top play today. So if you want to call it 1A and 1B, I'm okay with that. Next, I'm going to go down and this was a tough one, but I am going to go with, oh God, this kills me. I'm going to go with Baylor. Yeah, Baylor. I, you know, Baylor, I don't know. Sometimes I look at Baylor and I go, how does this team lose so many games? Other times I look at Baylor and I go, how does this team ever win a game? But last week, Baylor showed up. 59-35 at Texas Tech, 529 total yards, 255 yards rushing, 7.7 yards per carry. If that team shows up today against Oklahoma State, it wins by 3 touchdowns because Oklahoma State can't stop the run. We know that. Oklahoma State run defense allowing 299 yards in Big 12 play. And Oklahoma State coulda, shoulda, and probably would have won last week if not for a last-minute collapse against BYU last Friday. Still searching Mike Gundy's team for its first conference victory. Now, you have Baylor on the flip side, snapped an 8-game conference skid with that win against Texas Tech and Lubbock, but now they come back to Waco where they've lost 8 consecutive Big 12 games. So I'm willing to go with them. I like the fact that Sawyer Robertson, their quarterback, had a career-high 5 touchdowns and threw for 274 yards and was 21 for 32 against Texas Tech. Can he do it at home? Can Baylor put together 2 straight strong games? I'm banking on it because that's your next complimentary play. One quick note, you see at the bottom of the screen, if you'd like my latest Raise the Bar 20-dime release, and again, those 20-dime plays, kind of not perfect, but I don't know, kind of close to being money in the bank, I would say. After all, not a bad run, 14-5 over the past 3 seasons, going for number 15 out of 20. If you'd like that play for free, if you like Rick Torino's latest 100-dime college max wager, which, damn it, that is almost like money in the bank, considering that he's 24-5 lifetime with them over 2.5 years. If you'd like that play, my play, all the plays of all the handicappers for free today and another day of your choice, and you've never made a purchase over at DeMarcosports.com before, you can get them using the 1-day free all access pass. You see the advertisement at the bottom of the page. There's no gimmicks. Free does mean free. It's very simple. You go to the site, you click on the free 2-day trial for the all access pass. I've been doing it for over 20 years because I think it's the best way for you guys out there to get a sample of what we do. Everybody analyzes games differently. Everybody has a different flavor, and you can't beat free. That's the bottom line. I don't want your $9. I don't want $19 for a sample. Take it. It's free. Today, the All Access Pass costs $109. Tomorrow, it's going to cost $109. So look at it this way. All the handicappers plays cost between $65 and $119. Altogether, in the 1-day access pass, it's $109. You're getting 2 days for free. End of story. You see the ad. If you have any questions, you can always contact customer service. Your next complimentary play. And again, I'm running these in the order that I like them. I don't dip my toes into the Mid-American Conference too often, for good reason, because I hate the conference. I like Eastern Michigan, -2.5 at Akron. Akron has 3 FBS wins in the last 3 years. None this season. They're 1-6, okay? Their only win came against Colgate, and that's an FCS team. I got to take Eastern Michigan. I mean, they're 5-2 straight up. They're 6-1 against the spread. They're 2-0 or 2-1 in MAC play. They're coming off a 38-34 home win against Central Michigan, a game that they had to rally with 22 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to rally from a 34-16 deficit after losing their first game of the season 34 or 36-14 at Miami of Ohio a week prior. So I can see why they came out and they were sleepwalking in the first half. But I'm more impressed with the fact that they rallied back from the big deficit to win last week. And it's Akron, for Christ's sake. It's Akron. That's all I can say. And I'm laying 2.5. If the line goes to 3, I'm buying down the half point. It's Eastern Michigan. I got to give them a shot. Again, Eastern Michigan. And your last play is going to be SMU, -11.5 at Duke. Now, Duke, if there was ever a situation for a team to be in a letdown, it's Duke. They just had their first ever win against Florida State. They were 0-22 lifetime against the Seminoles before beating them 2 Fridays ago. I mean, I used Duke, matter of fact, as a free pick last Friday. But SMU, the reason this is a lower ranked selection is that SMU had to go cross country for this one. Yeah, hey, we're in Dallas. Let's join the ACC so we can go to California last week and win, and now we go to Durham. Makes sense to me for travel. But they did win 40-10 at home against Stanford. Now, of course, as I said, they're going to the opposite coast. And no, actually, they won at Stanford, I think. I may be wrong, but who the hell cares? It's a complimentary play, and I can't remember, and I'm not going to stop the video to go look it up. They're 6-1. They're 3-0 in the ACC. It was their 8th straight road win, and this team has really blossomed once they made the change to Kevin Jennings instead of Preston Stone at quarterback. In 4 starts, he has 9 touchdowns, only 2 turnovers, averaging 295 yards in total offense in those starts. And again, I think that Duke, a team that only mustered 180 total yards against Florida State, where their quarterback, Malik Murphy, who had thrown for over 200 yards in each of his first 6 starts, 12 for 24, 70 yards. I know that Duke is 15-2 the last 3 years combined playing at home, and the only losses came against North Carolina and Notre Dame. And I know that Duke's defense leads the ACC in points per game allowed at 17.3, but you played Northwestern, you played Connecticut, you played Middle Tennessee State, you played North Carolina, Georgia Tech, and a bad Florida State team. Not exactly murderer's row, so I'm not surprised that the Dukies have only allowed 17.3 points per game. SMU has not as good of a defense, but my God, SMU has such a better offense. So I'm willing to lay the 11.5 points here. And the game that I think that gives me the most hope for SMU is the fact that they won at Louisville by 7, I believe, and they held the Cardinals to 27 points. And even though they lost to BYU, a team that has played pretty damn good football this season, the Cougars only had 18 points. So, again, I'm going to go with SMU in that game. So, let's recap today's top plays, okay? And let's run them in order. The top play, again, is going to be Kansas State. And as I said, if that's 1A, 1B is going to be Ohio State. Next is going to be Baylor. And we'll say a couple of prayers here for the Bears that they actually show up today for a second straight week. Next is going to be maybe the only max selection you get for me the entire year. It's going to be Eastern Michigan. And then we're going to round it out here with SMU. And FYI, the only other game I considered was Colorado, which, when I handicapped the card originally, it was 3.5 points on Monday. That line's up to 6.5, in some places 7. Colorado would be a team I would consider in a teaser against Cincinnati. But ultimately, I think this game could be a 3 to 4 point margin for Colorado here. So that's why I got off the Buffaloes. Both teams are 5-2. Both teams are 3-1 in Big 12 play. One of them with a victory today, and I think it's going to be Colorado, is going to become bowl eligible. Cincinnati, the better defense in Colorado, and Cincinnati can run the hell out of the ball, which definitely has me concerned here because that Cincinnati offense, a lot of RPOs, a lot of options, a quarterback in Brendan Sorsby who can run and throw the ball quite effectively, a very good third down offensive team converting at a 50% clip. So, with Cincinnati averaging 172 yards per game on the ground, I think it's going to be a tough job for Colorado here. So, as that line went up, it just backed me off Colorado. However, as I said, if you're looking for a team to tease, I just don't see Colorado losing this game. So I can see Colorado in a 6-point teaser, taking them right down here to pick them. So that's my advice on Colorado and Cincinnati. Guys, I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow with the NFL selections. Good luck, everybody.